Where am I supposed to start with this match reaction? Honestly, please tell me in the comments where I'm supposed to start with this. Manchester United going 1-0 up within 3 minutes, 2-0 up within half an hour, then a Rashford red card, then they get 1 back, then they get 2 back, then we actually play better in the second half, and we play good with 10 men, we get a penalty, we go 3-2 up, and then the defence collapses. Wan-Bissaka with a hospital pass, back to Onana, corner, goal, Delo, turned off at the back post. That's 3-3, then Maguire and Varane. Melted. Completely melted. A penny for Erik Ten Hag's thoughts. There are going to be people that are going to go after Ten Hag after this. Genuinely, I think there are. Plenty of you. And I think you're absolutely stark, raving bonkers. That there, mate, I genuinely need like a subscription to Rennie or Gaviscon watching United. I'm convinced that being a United fan is not good for your health anymore. What has just happened there? Man United, yeah, well, it ended up being a bit of theatre of nightmares. What the fuck was that decision to send Rashford off, man? Højlund has scored 4 goals in 2 Champions League games, and we have come away with 0 points. Do you know how disgusting that is? Man United with 0 game management there towards the end. Look, it was always going to be difficult to manage a game when you've got, 50 minutes playing with 10 men? But we had a 3-2 lead going into the last 15 minutes. That red card, if you slow it down, yeah, it's a red card. But even Jamie bloody Carragher was coming out in defence of Marcus Rashford. That's how much it wasn't a red card. Everybody could see that Rashford was looking at the ball. You can see, if you're using the slow-mo to see where the foot is being planted, then use the slow-mo to see where Rashford's eyes are. Man, Erik Ten Hag must be thinking, seriously, what have I got to do? That was Manchester United's best performance of the season going into the 30th minute mark. Total control. It was really good. We took the sting out of the game. Højlund bagged 1. No, he didn't. He bagged 2. Man United hitting on the counter-attack. It was perfect. And then everything went out the window with that Rashford red card. The players were almost laughing at it. I'm so bored of hearing about decisions affecting our games. But here we go again. But don't worry. VAR will spot the fact that Copenhagen's player was offside and standing right in front of Onana. No, of course he fucking didn't. Right there. Interfering with play. But no, that's all right. It's only Man United. Never mind. But still, despite all that adversity, Man United came out in that second half. And for some reason, Copenhagen sat off us. And we used it to our advantage. We went forward. We kept playing well. One of their players elbowed Højlund in the face. No, VAR's not working now. Never mind. Carry on. Then we get the penalty decision, which is correct. And Bruno Fernandes bags an absolute worldie of a penalty. What a penalty from him. And then you are thinking, right, 15 minutes to go. Screw your heads on. All right? We're looking at experienced players here. Delo, Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka. The team, collectively. There's loads of experience there. See this game out. And I'm not using this photo to pick on Maguire. I'm using that photo to sum up how our defence played in that last 15 minutes. Where was the game management and the experience? Diogo Delo, how you switch. He didn't even switch off at the back post because a split second before, he saw exactly where the attacker was. And he just decided, I'm not going to cover that run. Wan-Bissaka with an absolute hospital pass back to Onana, chested it, tried to kick it out for a throw-in, went out for a corner. That's where the goal came from. 3-3. Impetus is now back with Copenhagen. And what happens? Man United switch off again. And that's where that photo is probably more appropriate. Varane and Maguire mess it all up. Ball drops to the 17-year-old who came on. 4-3, bang, Man United losing. Bottom of the Champions League group. To find yourselves in that position from such a dominant start. Ten Hag must just be looking at this and thinking, what have I got to do now? Decision after decision after decision after decision this season has impacted the game that we are playing. And we finally clicked a little bit. We finally started playing some actual football. Getting an early goal. Getting a second goal. Total control. And then that changes everything. But then Manchester United, how are we capitulating from that point on to concede 2 before half-time? A question has to be asked about that. The penalty. Do you think that was a penalty? Both of them, I think, were ridiculous penalties, in my opinion, but it's just the way that football's gone and the crappy new rules that there are. There are going to be people gunning for Ten Hag's head after that game. And I'm just stepping back thinking, how do you have energy towards the manager in that game there? There was negative energy towards the starting 11. But we all know who Erik Ten Hag is. We won 1-0 at the weekend. We kept a clean sheet. Wasn't a good performance, but he's thinking, right, I want to try and build, he calls them automatisms. Build patterns. I'm going to keep the 10. Rashford comes in. But we played better. The 11 was working. The team selection was working. But we collapsed after the red card. And then in the last 15 minutes of that game, every single one of those defenders just melted. And there is so much experience there. And there is just no excuse for it. Is it a hostility thing? I don't know. Man United were coping more easily with that atmosphere. Theatre of nightmares, and we scored within 3 minutes, and we were in total control. Passing it around. Weren't fazed by it at all. I saw like a different edge to United tonight. And then I saw the same blunt edge. And now Manchester United, as I said, we're bottom of the Champions League group. Imagine saying this, all we got to do is go to Galatasaray next week and win that, and then all we got to do is beat, or better, I don't fucking know. I'm tired, Robbie. I'm tired. And honestly, I don't know what Erik Ten Hag must be thinking after that game. Because if it's not the Garnacho offside, if it's not the Højlund one against Brighton, if it's not the Maguire one against Fulham, if it's not, I mean, there are so many, if it's not the Højlund one on Rodri, there are so many decisions which are dramatically impacting how Manchester United's games are playing this season. So what is it? Is this a game with referees, or is it a game of football? It's boring. It's exhausting. And watching United is exhausting. As I said, it cannot be good for your health being a Manchester United fan. 1-0 up, 2-0 up, red card, 2-1, 2-all, 3-2 up, 3-all, 4-3, bloody 8th minute. It's enough to make you pass out. And I cannot believe that Højlund has got 4 goals to his name in 2 Champions League games, and he's got no points for it. Nada. Went back to Copenhagen and he stood up to the occasion. Man United playing to his strengths. It was a really good goal. Really good goal. But there's no real positive you can take from that game now. Because all the negativity and the energy is going to go back there. Back looking towards the manager, who ultimately is responsible for his players. But I'm looking at a set of players there again. In that, like, I don't particularly... My head went after that Rashford red card, all right? My head went. I'm sure your head went as well. It looked like the players' heads went. And that's why going in at half-time, I was pissed. But United came out in that second half and we had the control and the measure of the game with 10 men. We were on top. It looked like we were playing with 11 men. We got the goal. An emphatic penalty by Bruno Fernandes. What a penalty. 20 minutes to go. See the game out. By hook or by crook, see that game out. You can defend with 10 men. You can still have your bank of 4 and 1 on the counter-attack. That's 9. Bank of 5, bank of 4. Oh, no, that is right. Oh, sorry, I'm losing my mind. I was right first time. United should not have lost that game. Those players melted in those last 20 minutes. I suppose we defaulted to character there. I think we showed at various points in that game a little bit of progression, a real bit of progression. That was the best football that we played this season, and we've come away with 0 points. Ten Hag, everyone's going to be gunning for Ten Hag now. I don't think they should be. Am I looking at questionable decisions? Højlund always comes off. Mason Mount coming on. He can play on the counter-attack too. He's not exactly a slouch. Amrabat coming on for Eriksen. I think that was the right call. I mean, what are the ones you want to put on him? Have a field day if you want. I can't believe those players and all that whole defence, every single one of them was culpable for those 2 goals that we conceded. United, man.